All right, and we're live. Let show and tell commence. Gabriel, it looked like you were. Who's first? Jake's first.
Okay, let me get set up.
Oh, is me the first? No.
I can go first. Can you all see my Tmux?
Yes.
Okay. This is something that I discovered this week. It's a little bit of a saw sharpening exercise. We've had this problem on projects before, which I would describe this way. We have a long running feature branch that we check out a lot because we're going back and forth. And we also have other similarly named branches. So you can see we have feature long running, long epic branch name. That's our branch that imagine we're on for months. And then we also have, we're using that same feature namespace for lots and lots of other branches. So switching back and forth between that branch and any of these other branches, I feel like it's kind of slow. If you try to do tab complete, for instance, it can only go as far as it needs to. You need to specify the unique branch name past that feature directory, so here you are typing it out again. In this case, we're lucky, but there could be other colliding branch names past that directory. The same goes for tab complete. Reverse history search. So if I do using the Hashrocket alias GCO to check out, I'm only really limiting my information down to like 6 or 7 branches, and you can imagine that's a lot more. So it's not actually very ergonomic to go back and forth between that branch and any other branch. So the thing I've been wanting is I'd like to have this long running branch have a short and memorable name. And so this week I discovered this Git feature called symbolic ref. The basic syntax is it's Git symbolic ref. The first argument is your reference, and the second argument is your branch, your target. So a practical example would be we do Git symbolic ref, and then inside the ref's heads directory, we are going to create a new ref. And then we already have a reference in there to our branch name. So we're going to be pointing it at that. So run that command. And if you want to see what we did inside of the Git directory refs heads, there's our epic symlink. The way it works is you can check it out just like a branch. So you see it said it switched to epic, but it's actually on the thing that I would call the epic branch, which is feature long epic branch name. And now you can do anything you would do with Git because it's just a reference. So you can you can go back to it, you can put it into commands and chain commands. And if you want to delete the ref, one of the other things it provides is the ability to do that. So we set this up in our project, and I feel like it's really helped this week cut down on the amount of typing we're doing to get back and forth from these branches. And for further reading, obviously there's the demand page, but I also posted this on Today I Learned this week, and check it out. And that's all I've got.
Thanks, Jake. Yeah, I had the pleasure to be pairing with Jake when we started using that, and it was like amazing, super fast. Like we've been, I don't know, on this project for so many months, and it was so nice to be able to do those kind of stuff. Like we are always like rebasing, right? Rebasing, git rebase this epic branch, and it's always like a pain. And I was just git rebase epic, and I told him, this is epic.
I'm so glad to hear.
Yeah. Cool. All right, my turn. Share screen. I'll show everything. Oops. Thais just messaged me. Do you want empanadas for dinner? Of course. Uh,
The answer is yes.
he always is. All right, so I'm gonna talk. I think last time I talked a little bit of some SQL that I was doing with JSONB in Postgres, and this week I had to do some weird queries as well. So the some of you will know, right, that I've been building this app that connects to this Bluetooth device, and this week the firmware developer, right, the company that builds this device, they contacted me asking if there were some cases of um, uh, like workouts that disconnected in the middle and didn't record all the events. So they asked me if there was like a specific scenario where uh, you receive the event from the Bluetooth device that tells that the workout ended, and they wanted to know if there was a case where yeah they received that event but they didn't receive another event. There was like some additional information data from the workout. And in my database, I store all these like crucial like events from the Bluetooth device on a JSONB field because for me it's just more for auditing, like trying to debug and see what's there. I don't use that information. It's just like to keep a history of what happened on the workout. So I have this table here. Let me increase workout results, right? Is the table, and there is this column here called events. And when I select this, you just see that's like an array of JSON data. So you have like the distance, elapsed time, interval rest time, like all the information. And uh, and you have this type, the events, the type of the events, and they were the firmware developer. He wanted to know if there was this end of workout summary event, but there was no additional workout summary. Um, so I was like, how do I do that in SQL, right? I have this JSON-B field that's just JSON, right? And how do I do a query to do that? Um, So one thing that I discovered is like you can on Postgres you have like a function JSON. Let me copy and paste because I JSON B array elements, and then you put that function around your column. And the previous query was just select events, right? It was returning one row. Now if I do this select JSON B array elements, it's returning all the elements of that array field. Of that JSON B array field. So now it feels to me like this. Think of it like, as like a join with the same table, right? So you're joining with your JSONB uh, column, and now you have all the JSONB elements part of that query. So now I had on this case like 15 events. Um, so that was my first step. Okay, now I broke this uh, the JSON-B into records, right? Into rows with a query. Um, so I'm gonna go to the solution because it's kind of nice. So what I did was this. So I created like a STE, right? No, CTE, common table expression, uh, with all events. So that's where I do that JSON-B array element. So I'm flattening all the events from the JSON-B column here. And what I was interested in is I wanted to know the ID, like the firmware version that the issue was happening, and when, right, the workout was created. That was the information I wanted. But how do I get information, right? So I'm selecting like from the workout results, regular, all the results from the database, and I do where the ID of the results in, and then I open like a subquery here using the all events CTE. So I select the ID from the all events group by ID at the end because this is expanding all the JSONB elements. And then I do like a having. So having count, then I get the event type because that was the key of my JSON elements. And then I am using like filter. That was something that I never used, or I used before, but I forgot. So you can do having with a filter. So you do where the type is equals to end workout summary is 1, right? So this is the event that I want to make sure it's there. So it's 1. The count is 1, and the type of the other event, additional workout summary, is 0. So when I run this entire thing, it takes like a few seconds because it's not performant. It doesn't have index, but it's like 4 seconds. So yeah, like there was a scenario like that. So it happened on May 29th this year, and the firmware version was this entire thing. So yeah, that was like what I did this week. I discovered this cool function, JSON B array elements, and having count with a filter. It's pretty powerful what you can do with Postgres. That's it.
That was really cool, Gabe. Thanks.
Yep. Who's next? Saw that Phil joined. Are you there, Phil?
I was just checking out what was going on.
All right. So you want to present something or just hang out?
I was just gonna see what was up. I'm working on something, but it's not quite ready yet.
All right. So Polito, your turn then.
My turn. I'm not signed up. I just run this show.
Oh, showman.
I have something, but it's not cooperating, so I don't. I can try to. Let's see. It's going to be a tad janky. So I have a MacBook with a touch bar, and I like it. I have never had an issue with it for whatever reason. Programmers tend to hate on it not having an escape key. Whatever. Hasn't bothered me. I do really like that it contextually changes based on apps that you're in. And since I've been at home, the lid is closed. So I lose that functionality. So I lose the benefits of the touch bar. I lose Touch ID, which is a bummer. So I've been experimenting with a Stream Deck. And so if you don't know what that is, it's a little box with OLED buttons, and you can pretty much put whatever you want on them. And so I have got a bunch of buttons here. Let's see if I can show you. I have to get zoom out of the way. There we go. So okay, finagle this. Get this working here. All right, so there we go. So I have just been playing with it, so it's not completely useful. Obviously, the rest of the buttons are not filled in. However, I've found usefulness in that even obviously I can open apps with oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank. What's the command space?
Finder.
Finder. Not Finder.
Spotlight.
Spotlight. Spotlight or Alfred, you could do something like that. For things that I don't always remember to open, like Post-a-Co or Slack. So sometimes Slack will be closed and I forget for half a day that it's closed. I like that it's like in my face and I just remember to do that and I can just click it. Now, you can do interesting things with this, like I have a Pomodoro timer, but I don't always remember to turn it on, but it's right here. So this is actually there's timers built in, and this is a folder with a little clock icon. So I hit that, and you can see that there's a 20-minute, and a 5-minute. And you press that, and it just starts counting down right on the device, which is pretty cool. And I can go back. Now, an interesting thing is having context when an app is switched is interesting to me, like the touch bar. For things like Zoom, the shortcuts are nice if you remember them, but sometimes the windows aren't aligned properly where they always work. So I liked on the touch bar where if you had Zoom open, you had like the mute and the video buttons all right there. And I was able to do that with this. So I have a Zoom button right here. And if I press that, I have, oh man, it's really hard to see. It's not gonna expose it correctly. So when I press Zoom, it either opens it, well, that particular button opens Zoom, and then I have a profile on the Stream Deck for when Zoom is the forward window, it switches to this profile, and this profile has mute, video on off, screen sharing, bring Zoom to the front, and then end the call. So these buttons are right in my face. I don't have to worry about anything. And so we think of it as obviously something for gamers, but even just triggering workflows with something like Keyboard Maestro or other apps, it's very useful. And I like that it's like right there in your face, just like the touch bar. So I went big with this one. I don't know that I would recommend the full 32 key one, but I think that it's useful even at the smaller version, because you could probably, with folders and context, you could probably fit a lot into this small number of buttons. So I would recommend. I'm giving it a try. I like it so far. That is all.
What's the experience programming one of those buttons? What's that like?
So far, I haven't figured that out as far as like me programming new functionality. There's some plugins. Obviously, this Zoom one is it's on GitHub, and so someone wrote this that's not Stream Deck. It looks like it's C, but I haven't dug into it yet. I'm just trying to. You can do a lot with the Stream Deck software, so I'm figuring out what I can do there before I try to dive down and program something custom.
That's really cool. It's nice because it's like a physical button, right? The touch bar, it's all just a touch bar. You don't know where it's
that was the biggest thing. Like, there's really something to be said about having buttons right in front of your face. I was like, I'll give it a try. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, and I was like, yeah, I like it.
How much, buddy? How much did it cost?
You don't want to know. Obviously, I got it on sale, but
I thought it was for free. For free, you always get stuff for free now.
No, you know what? I did get. Where'd it go? I got these LED lights. They sent me these for free. These Apple or HomeKit LED lights. They're regular LED lights. The only difference is this little dongle that you normally plug into the LED strip is hooks into HomeKit somehow. But yeah, so I'm testing those out.
Very cool.
That's it. Unless Phil has anything, I think we might be at our end.
Shown and told.
Alrighty. Same rocket time, same rocket channel next week.
Thanks, Matt.
Possibly. We have a lunch
Oh.
thing next week, right?
Oh yeah, next week. It's
But
what
that's
time?
not the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can still just show and tell.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, we've been shown and told.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.